caused by bunker busters at a nuclear test facility. Tell us more. What is the significance of this clear blow?
Great to join you, Benita. I think this is more Israeli strikes during this operation that have sort of flown under the radar, really aimed at degrading and eliminating Iran's remaining pathways to nuclear weapons. This particular site was called Taligan 2, and Iran had built it and used it for nuclear weapons experiments as part of its early nuclear weapons program in the early 2000s. And then in recent years, it had restarted nuclear weapons experiments at that site, leading Israel to demolish it in October of 2024. And the Iranians continued to rebuild. They put a new high explosives containment vessel at Taligan 2. Very provocative, possibly questionable why you would rebuild at the same site that was struck before. But in any case, Israel decided to eliminate it with the bunker busters yesterday.
It's so interesting that you bring up why would there be rebuilding if something was eliminated, because it's been so difficult to assess what exactly is going on in terms of the impact of the operation so far in setting back the regime's nuclear ambitions. After the 12-day war, Donald Trump was saying the nuclear sites were completely obliterated. What is your sense? What can you tell us?
I think what I see Israel doing is really taking care of remaining assets or reconstituted activities that they may have seen and restart since the June attack. For example, they've hit another compound that they say Iran was building a nuclear weapon component at, Minzadehe, and then also destroyed a laboratory in the Mojdeh complex, likely owned or operated by the administrative arm of Iran's nuclear weapons program. And then we've seen a couple of access prevention type strikes, one at the Natanz underground enrichment plant, which was already destroyed in June, and then a vehicle at the Pickaxe Mountain site, which is near the Natanz complex, and where Iran may be building a possible enrichment plant. So it seems that they are taking care of remaining assets and then not wanting to let any Iranian officials in to explore whether they could get access to remaining assets.
It certainly sounds there are some major sites that still need to be tackled, for want of a better word. Andrea, you may have heard us talking here in studio earlier, the big development in recent hours, this apparent statement by the new Supreme Leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, read out on state television by a news anchor, saying Iran's attacks on Gulf neighbors will continue and all American bases will be attacked. But before we even get to the messaging, what do you make of the fact that there isn't even a video message from the new Supreme Leader? How do we know it really is him? How do we know he is alive?
That's a good question. He may be very injured. He may be in a coma. I've even heard reports of. We really don't know at this point. But for whatever purposes, the regime does want to get a message out there from him to show that he is in control, that there is some leadership still steering the boat there, and that he's ready to pick up leadership when he can. I think this does underscore the danger, though, of leaving a leadership linked to this regime, the son of the former Supreme Leader, with access to highly enriched uranium. Those stocks still remain in play, likely entombed in the Esfahan tunnels and the Fordow enrichment site that the U.S. targeted in June. But in any case, we don't want to leave them with access to enough for 11 nuclear weapons. I think at some point Israel and the U.S. do need to deal with that, even if it's just a long-term effort to prevent anyone from getting access.
Always fascinating hearing your insights. Andrea Stricker, thank you so much for joining us.